If you're a private practice owner struggling to cross the 20K a month mark, it's probably not because you're not working hard enough. It's likely because you're making one or more of these costly mistakes, and they drain your time, your energy, and your income. The good news is, once you spot them, you can finally fix them fast. That way, you can finally create a practice that grows beyond survival. So let's get into it. All right, so the first of the silent killers is underpricing your services. Your fees are just too low. Now, one of the biggest blocks to income growth is undercharging. Therapists often price their services based on what others charge and what they assume clients can afford. Now, the reactive pricing strategy keeps your income low and your stress extremely high. You begin to feel overworked, undervalued, and resenting the very work you once loved. So let's check this out. All right, so this is on Behavioral Health Business website. Now, for therapist income, the report highlighted some positive trends, but when it comes to a provider salary, 67% of therapists said they did not increase their fees in last year. So that's more than a third of providers reported they're not increasing their profits. Now, as a therapist, more 2024 than 2023. In fact, 31% of therapists said they made $100,000 or more last year. So that's up in general. The crazy part is that a lot of providers who are working with insurances, the providers are increasing their earnings every year, but your rates are still staying the same at that lower tier. So you're not increasing with inflation. All right. Now, instead of increasing their rates, nearly 40% of therapists report that earnings income and non-therapy sources are doing consulting, supervision, teaching as alternative income sources. So you're spreading yourself amongst different things to bring in more income, and you're already taking on a lot in your current role just as a provider. Now, why is that? So pricing is mostly based on fear. All right, so now why is this? Well, pricing is based on fear or comparison. It comes down to those two things. But low pricing might get you more clients at first, but it's almost always leads to burnout. So your income plateaus while your workload increases just to keep up with inflation and the demands of you keeping your business open. It becomes impossible to scale, hire, and help, or take a real needed break, right? So it's important that you value your self-care within this. Now, the financial stability of private practices is increasing precariously, with the majority of therapists reporting anxiety over the current economic climate. So majority of mental health providers are experiencing anxiety on if they can continue down this path of helping others with their mental health. Almost 85% of private practice therapists are concerned about the economy impacting their practice. So this is a 2024. It's now 2025. Now, despite the concerns, therapists said they did not plan to raise their fees. This is important. Like you can, if you're working with insurances, you can even discuss increasing your rate with them. I do get it. So many therapists do worry about raising their fees because it makes their services inaccessible to their clients. But others see it as the fastest way to improve their bottom line. So if they need the services, you don't have to double your pricing, right? You can steadily increase it and prepare them and communicate with them that you're going to have this happening. You plan to have this happening in X amount of days or in a month or so. And if they can't really afford it, you can implement sliding scale fees and stuff like that. That way, there are other ways to help them instead of keeping your business stagnant. And this can all lead to burnout and you struggling to scale and some common causes of it. Now, the solution is that you can start with your cost of living. Now, this includes your personal living expenses, taxes, business overhead, maybe the rent, and the income you actually want to bring home. So you need to write that down and have that set and that number for you to reference. Now, you want to work backwards. That's why we're doing this, to determine how many clients you need as a sustainable rate and caseload that you can manage. Now, this gives you a rate that's rooted in your reality. And I think my personal opinion is doing a combination of private pay and insurances, because you can negotiate the contract on the insurances to increase those over time, and vice versa. You can increase your rate your private pay rate over time as well. And it gives you more grounding and surface level to operate out of. Now, you want to operate in reality and not fear. That's really why we're doing this. And then you can update your pricing regularly as you grow, experiencing demand as the market shifts, because it will shift, but you'll be able to shift with it. And I think that's really the powerful part, being able to maneuver and move with the market and be able to manage that way. What you do and all the hard work you put in doesn't go to waste. You just continue to grow at a rate that's sufficient for you to be consistent. You just allow it to happen at your own time. Don't allow what everyone else is saying in the articles to make you pivot completely different, because it's going to be based on you, your goals, your vision, and your work ethic. Let's get into the second silent killer of private practices. The second mistake is lack of a niche and a poor client fit. Now, a common mistake amongst newer practices is saying yes to everyone. While it feels smart to do this to fill up your caseload, it actually spreads your energy quite thin. Now, serving everyone waters down your marketing, your outcomes, and your authority. All right, so you might be taking on any clients and you lack positioning in a specific specialization. So it might be hard for people to feel like they need you because you lean towards more everyone and not towards them. So it's harder for them to see how they can achieve an end result, right, and an outcome, a dream outcome. This is joinher.com if you want to check the source. But competition will continue to grow and therapists may drop their rates. So our common mistake number one, but there's a solution for 1 and 2, which is focusing on developing specialties that target a specific niche, helping you stand out from the pack. Now, this should not be just anything. You should really look at your clients that you worked with in the past, what they were dealing with, and who you were able to help achieve the most results or end goal, right? This should be specific and tailored to you. Yes, everyone's going to come with their own specific needs. Yes, they're going to have their own problems, and it's going to be one-to-one. Everyone's path looks different. However, if you can focus on your strengths and who you're able to help the most and serve the most as a client, you'll be able to speak to them more, and you'll grow more over time. And then once you do figure out what that niche is, you can actually focus on marketing. The great thing about today's technology is that there's AI. Instagram's using it, for example. And if you are using words that speak to your specific niche, going over what they're going through, what they want to achieve, it's going to actually target those people it might relate to most, which is really awesome. So now you're creating content and marketing that speaks specifically to the people you best serve, and they're coming to you. You're like becoming a lighthouse beacon for them. Now, when you don't have a defined niche or ideal client, you often end up working with people who aren't a great match for you. And this leads to inconsistent results, frustration on both ends as a provider and the client, and slower growth for you because you miss out on becoming the go-to expert in a specific area. And you miss out on building that trust with the community that you want to serve and group of people. If you're serving people that you speak to most and they're your ideal clients, they're going to bring referrals. Like you help them overcome something. They found someone going through a similar situation. They're going to recommend you because they witnessed and experienced what you're able to provide for them. Now, on this article on Agents of Change, from trauma-focused counseling to innovative approaches like teletherapy, the therapists are finding themselves at an intersection of tradition, and transformation. So your specializing allows for professionals to refine their skills and deepen their understanding. That way you can build trust with clients that are seeking a tailored care approach. So the niche enhances the therapeutic experience for your clients and also positions you as an invaluable source in your competitive market. Now, once you go out here and implement this, I think it's going to be a game changer for you, most definitely. So definitely go ahead and put that into play, into practice, because the demand for expertise has never been higher, and making specialization is an investment for both your clients as well as yourself as a practitioner in long term. All right, this is how you can stand out and be the one. You're not just a therapist, you're not just a counselor, psychotherapist, clinician. Like, you are special. You have a superpower that that's different and differentiates from other providers. You should speak to that. For your solution, identify your best fit clients, right? Those you enjoy working with, get great results with, and who values your approach, right? This becomes your niche. Build your intake process around this clarity. Now you're clear on who you serve, so you can screen for it and refer out those who aren't aligned. You know other therapists and clinicians. Why aren't you all working together and saying, I know I'm not the best to help you with the situation. However, I can refer you to someone who has the skills to do so. Create community around it. You're not in competition with anyone out here. You're all working together, you're a community, and you can refer to each other. So make sure you're referring those who aren't aligned with yourself. And not only will your sessions feel lighter, but your marketing will attract the right people and more consistently. It's like an avalanche effect. The snowball builds up over time and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, levers you can pull. You're either going to lower your prices with everyone else and keep lowering them, or you become an expert in a specific area and specialize in it, right? That way you have the expert focus. Now let's get into the silent killer number 3, the final one. Ineffective boundaries. Yes, your sessions are running over. You got no shows, you have late cancellations. You're working outside of your defined hours that you actually want to work and need to sustain. Now, when you don't have strong boundaries, your calendar fills up with chaos. You might run over in sessions and agree to reschedule last minute or respond to messages at night or on the weekends. This doesn't just exhaust you, it chips away at your leadership and efficiency. Now, this is something that we're constantly working on and battling. And just a skill that you just have to work at just because you're in this because you care. Even with the team and leading them, it's the same thing. So every time you let a session go over, that's unpaid time. Every no show or late cancel without consequences cost you income because they're just going to do it again because they know that they can. And people will take advantage of that, unfortunately. Now, it also strains the clients to, value your time. How can you expect them to value your time if you're not showing them the value of your time, right? So it's definitely important to implement this. It's going to take time, so give yourself grace, but it's something you should be working at. You should write down what you're unwilling to do, what your time frames are for working, and what your consequences are for canceling late or no showing. I think fees are a great strategy. We haven't implemented that, but we are in the process of writing that up and notifying everyone in our practice that this is going to be occurring. Now, this is just to prevent and also allow them to see the value in themselves and the services that they're getting, because it's hard to get to an end result when you're not being consistent in the work, right? How do cancellations? This is going to be like your foundation, your floor that everybody's going to go off of, right? And you want to communicate them clearly during intake, supervisions, and enforce them consistently. This protects your time. This will boost your income, and it helps you to show up fully for your clients who respect your practice. You want to grow a practice with people who respect you rather than the other way around, and you have consistent cancellations, no shows, clients who could care less to do the work. So it's okay to not be okay. However, it's just not okay to stay there and stay stuck, which is why what you do is just so much more valuable because you get people out of that space. So let's help you do more of that at a greater reach. What you do does matter. Now let's recap the 3 mistakes. First, underpricing. The second one, lack of niche, figuring out who you best serve. And number 3, weak boundaries. We're going to strengthen the boundaries, meaning your policies, your procedures, how you do business. Now, first, underpricing your services keeps your practice in survival mode. Second, trying to help everyone instead of finding your niche stretches you thin. Third, weak boundaries creates burnout and rob you of income. And here's the truth. You don't need to add more hours. You need to price with purpose. Serve clients who are aligned and protect your energy like it's money, because it is. These 3 shifts alone can help you unlock sustainable $20K plus a month. especially when combined with the right systems and strategy. All right, I hope this video actually brought value to you. I hope you can take this, implement it into your practice, and run. That way you can serve your clients and serve yourself as well. Now, if you can, please let me know in the comments one of these three mistakes that you're struggling with and how you're going to implement it down below. My name is AJ. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one.